this video, I'm going to show you how to install Open WebUI. Open WebUI is an open source web-based interface that interacts with large language models, such as Ollama. This offers you some kind of interface similar to ChatGPT in a multimodal support. They have the capabilities of have conversation history, role customization, and it's very easy to install in Docker. That's what we want to do at this time. Interacting with Ollama, which is a tool to manage LLMs locally. As much as we like the command line, the terminal APIs, this web interface let us do an elegant REST API integration that actually will help us navigate directly. This installation on the web is going to be based on the Docker, like I was mentioned. Ollama is going to be some of the projects that is going to be interface on that to help us assist to run models directly, and everything is going to be virtualized using the software VirtualBox from directly from the website. Hosting an operating system called Debian. Looking forward to see the newer version. It's coming in about a week or two around the corner. This is going to be the version 13. And everything is going to be using the Docker container as a container engine. This video is being recorded with the Software Share X, the portable version 13.2, and the end solution we see in Portainer. The container is running, and everything is going to be in a web interface that we can interact directly from the web interface, such as this one. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a video has been recorded in a virtual machine. Apt install. I guess we don't have nothing really in this video. Just a vanilla version of an advanced installation of Debian, just to make a minimal deployment. Typically, Debian installation is about 8 or 9 gigs in your hard drive. Even though this is virtualized, I don't like to use that much space. I'd rather like to use a space in this particular case for the large language module, even if we want to use the baby version, Ollama, Qwen, or whatnot. But everything's going to be impacting the hard drive. So what I did is actually went to the latest version of Debian on the network install, do the expert install, and just install nothing but the utilities and SSH. And this is what we have right here. As you can see, right here we can have 2.7 gigs of installation. I don't have X, everything's CLI. My memory is 449 megs out of 4 gigs. And as you can see, is the latest version of Debian 12 bookworm. So that's a very small model. We have Docker install, Portainer on 9443. Actually, I haven't even went to the exercise to allow the ports on 9443. Let me go ahead and add those after the installation of Portainer. 9443, then 0.2.15 on 9443. That looks correct. And let me go back to Portainer local. Okay, we need to restart Portainer. Let's stop the container. Let's start the container. All right. Let's refresh our page. And here we go. Okay. Twelve characters. Maybe not the same one. Okay, after we overcome these little password things, we have Portainer running. This is Portainer. This is really cool. We'll be able to see what we have, and we have it running in the CLI. So basic advanced install of Debian, minimum 2.7 gigs. We want to use all the space for the LLMs. Let's go ahead and get the Docker installation going. So in this case, I want to use Docker Compose for the Open WebUI and Ollama together on the same space with the respective volumes. So I'm going to go ahead and create a maybe a Web UI Ollama folder. There's nothing there. Vi docker compose .yml file. And let's paste. Basically, if we go through this, WebUI is from Docker container. It's going to be container name my Open WebUI. It's going to be exposed on the port 3000 internal 8080. We want to have some base URL Ollama for the magic of Docker because it's on the same Docker container. It's going to call this service. No need to have the resolution IP address on the port. The port that is exposed directly on 11.4.34. And it's external internal, and actually the volumes that require mapping directly to the file system. Pretty Docker standard stuff. Docker compose op-d, and this is going to be actually start doing what Docker compose does, pulling the images, building the images, starting the containers. While this is going, I'm going to go ahead and expose the port 3000 that we need to have ready for our web UI. So port 3000 is going to be in, just like we did in Portainer, we're going to go ahead and add it here on the network settings for VirtualBox, and I want to add 127.0.0.1 on port 3000, 10.0.2.15, the default and added interface for the VirtualBox on the same port 3000. So 3000 local is going to go to the port 3000 internal, which is going to be the Docker container, and we should be able to get that thing going. With that out of the way, we might need to add some rules for the firewall, possibly. And once we do that, we'll be able to actually reach the server. This is actually getting the downloads directly for the Ollama client and also for the web UI. Everything's going to be putting one dependency after the other one. It takes some time. It's standard Docker stuff. This download speed is going to vary depending on your bandwidth, your memory. If you have a solid state drive or a hard drive, the mileage may vary in terms of your download and your CPU, your connection to the internet, of course, your DNS, and all those factors, even your wireless. That's going to actually contribute on how soon this is going to be. But it's pretty quick for the most part. We're right now in the video with the explanation on everything about under 9 minutes, so it shouldn't really take that long. It's pretty fast. It's going to take a little longer once we start downloading the models. That's what it's going to start taking a little longer than we will expect. But right now, it seems like we're just about done with the Ollama, and it's working on the web UI, extracting. The download has been completed, but it's extracting. So pretty soon we want to be able to have this process build the Dockers started. It's extracting right now, just about 4 out of 3, just about done. And the last one, it created our containers. It's actually getting everything wired on the Docker side, starting, and if we go back to the web interface, we'll be able to see that actually it's starting the containers. Pretty soon it's going to change the status on this. It's going to be able to see exactly on the ports we want. And here you can see Docker PS that we see the 3 running at some time. This is eventually going to change. Now that we having this, let's go ahead and add some models that we can actually run from LLM models. Let's execute the Ollama and bin bash. Let's jump into the container, onto the shell on the CLI of the container. This is Ollama Qwen 1.5. Is the smallest one, Tinyllama or Gemma? Let's try the first one, which is going to be the Qwen model, and go ahead and run that one. Basically, it's going to go to the repos. Ollama is going to help us go to the LLM repos and download the and execute Qwen as a LLM directly, which eventually is going to help us to use WebUI to interact and connect it, to use it for responses and interact with the LLM model. You can use Qwen, that is very good for programming, but the most important thing is that you can do this completely standalone. You don't need to be connected to the internet. The answer is going to be as good as the time that the models were actually trained and the image was built. Of course, to complement this, it was necessary to have a RAG model, a RAG application that actually can go and search online events that happen today, like the weather and sports events that actually happen after the time that the LLM model was trained or built. So those kind of things are actually the things that makes this smarter, but at least we have some starting point that we can use and rely. Some of the LLM models interact with those, chat with those, and eventually, don't have to be exposing or data, keyboard data privacy. Tell me a joke about Linux. Why was the Linux logo so happy? Because it has just received an order for 3,000 more copies. All right then. So now that it's running, possibly let's go ahead. We might need to go ahead and do Open WebUI localhost 3000. It's actually come back and give us some login. We can say I get started. I want to create an admin. I want to use an admin localhost. I want to create a fake password. It doesn't really matter. It's just something local. And then we have it. I can say, okay, let's go. And as you can see, set as the file because we download Qwen is there. I want to ask the same question. Tell me a joke about Windows, Microsoft Windows. And as you can see, immediately start working. Why did the computer get to see what was going on at work? It couldn't stand any more of Microsoft Windows. All right, and it's a joke. So as you can see, it's sending more models. Please tell me why the sky is blue. And then the Qwen model is very fast. It talks about the sunlight, the chemical reaction between hydrogen atoms and oxygen. Not as deep, not as detailed as ChatGPT, but of course you're running local. This is all we wanted to do in this video. Of course you can actually, from the model, you can do some other things like such as download another module, perhaps Tinyllama, and what he's going to do now, because he doesn't have the Ollama, the Tinyllama as a repo, now he goes to the LLM model, downloads the Tinyllama, and depending on your storage, you'll be able to actually pick and choose between different models, because you have two models. WebUI is going to be able to recognize the two models, and from that you'll be able to actually select and choose which one is your preferred. Probably you want to use some other Qwen for developing, for programming, developing some things. Right now, what model are you? Well, he doesn't know who it is. He doesn't know it's Tinyllama. He's explaining about vector machines. Let me go back here. Let me reload the page. And now we'll be able to select Tinyllama. With Tinyllama, I can say it, tell me a joke about Docker. I misspelled Docker. Tinyllama latest is actually using different model. This is a very good way to actually start interacting and be able to upload files, chat with your files, trying to get information. It says the dog don't have any legs, just too heavy. Okay, but you get the point. Keep your data private, keep your files to yourself, and eventually take advantage of LLM models and everything. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Stay safe and look forward for new Debian and the next versions on AI. Thank you. Have a great day.